Quotes by Rumi. Love is not an emotion, it is your very existence. Love sometimes wants to do us a great favor, holds us upside down, and shake all the nonsense out. And only from your heart can you touch the sky. Randy will light our chalice, or Mary. No, it is Randy. We light this chalice for our earthly kin, for those of feather, fur, or fin, for those with legs, 2, 4, or more, those high in the sky and on the ocean floor, for those that fly, for those that creep, those that sing in the day and wake while we sleep. For all creation, our family, we kindle this fire to know all of them and each of us have a place in Earth's choir. Before we sing the first hymn, let me remind you to please leave yourselves muted. However, we want you and whoever is with you to sing with Jan or Mary as big and loud as you like. Make it a joyous experience. So let's all sing the opening hymn, We Shall Be Known, by Carisha Longacre.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive and deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves to the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive and deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria. We are glad you have joined us today. As a Unitarian Universalist community, we celebrate religious diversity and welcome all who journey in search of faith and spirituality. The UUCC is a lay-led congregation inviting speakers from different religious traditions and spiritual or scientific backgrounds to speak in our pulpit. We encourage presentations covering a variety of topics and areas of interest to our community that connect with the UU 7 principles. Today's service will center around the first principle. We affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Reverence and respect for human nature is at the core of Unitarian Universalist faith. We believe that all the dimensions of our being carry the potential to do good. We celebrate the gifts of being human, our intelligence and capacity for observation and reason, our senses and ability to appreciate beauty, our creativity, our feelings and emotions. We cherish our bodies as well as our souls. We can use our gifts to offer love, to work for justice, to heal injury, to create pleasure for ourselves and others. My name is Susan Landau, and I am your worship associate this morning. I would like to extend a special welcome to today's guests and visitors. We're glad you joined us this morning under these challenging circumstances. If you are a guest and would like to introduce yourself, please raise your Zoom hand and unmute yourself when Diane calls on you.
Okay, I don't see any hands up for today, so back to you, Susan.
Thank you. If you are not on our mailing list, please visit our website at uuccambria.org so that we can keep you informed about all of our activities. And please check out What's Happening, a weekly e-blast sent to all of our members and friends. This is a great way to keep up with the latest news in our community. And as a reminder, if you wish to see this or any of our past Zoom services again, recordings of these services can be found on the UUCC website and our Facebook page as well. The membership committee invites non-members to consider becoming a member of our community. Please contact Janet Cooper or a board member if you are interested. And finally, our guest speaker has agreed to stay after for questions and comments. So again, good morning and welcome to everyone. Let us now recite the affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its prayer. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, and to help one another. We set aside this time for any short announcements that would be of interest to our UU community members and friends. Please keep your items short and to the point. For any items that need more explanation, please call or email the person after the service to be respectful of everyone's time. If you have an announcement, please raise your Zoom hand by clicking on the raise hand button in the reactions icon. When Diane calls your name, please unmute yourself and then speak.
Randy, I believe you have an announcement from the sanctuary.
Yes, I do. In fact, I have two announcements. The first one is that every August, we've started a new thing called the Summer Sermons by Other People series. And those take place during the summer, the Sundays of August. And this year we have 5 Sundays in August. So we're inviting 5 people from our congregation who are interested in delivering a sermon, somebody else's sermon that they find and something that resonates with them. So if you're interested in speaking on a Sunday in August and you have a sermon that you found that you like, then please get in touch with me or a member of the worship committee so that we can get you posted. Okay, so that's announcement number 1. The second one is that tomorrow at 5 o'clock via Zoom, we're having our worship committee meeting, our monthly meeting. So if you're on the worship committee, please be there, and others are welcome. Please send me an email if you wish to join so I can send you the link. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy. Let's see. Well, I don't see any other hands, but I have an important update on our fundraiser. So due to a huge contribution of books that was made by Jeremy Main and the Technology Collective, along with the generous contributions that you all have made with clothing and kitchen appliances and camping gear and bicycles and chairs and Christmas and holiday items and vacuums and a whole lot more, we are ending the fundraiser ahead of schedule. So for now, we have enough, and we thank you all for such great participation. Between the books and the items brought to the church, we filled a Goodwill truck, a gargantuan Goodwill truck, to the brim.
And so we had no more room for anything else. It took the operations committee and two big guys from Goodwill to load it all. And we shall soon learn what the proceeds will be after it's all weighed in. We may do this fundraiser again in the future, but for now, job well done. And we appreciate all that you have done for us. Without you, we couldn't have done it. So that's one of my announcements. The other announcement is under the same subject of fundraisers. We move on to reminding you that I'm going to smile for you now. And that smile is to remind you that that you can continue to give the church by ordering all your Amazon merchandise through amazonsmile.com. Amazon Smile is a program that donates 0.5% of your eligible purchases on Amazon to UUCC. So all you need to do is start your shopping at smileamazon.com, and the donation will be made at no extra cost to you. So keep smiling and know your Amazon orders are accumulating money for the UUCC. Okay, still no other hands, so we're back to you, Susan.
Next week, Stephen Lloyd Moffett will present Living by Universal Grace. Today, being the third Sunday of the month, we welcome a witness to our virtual pulpit. A moment of witness is widely practiced in Christian and Islamic denominations as a means to bear witness or give testimony about the way a specific religious affiliation has impacted one's life. Our hope is that, in their moment of witness, a congregant here can briefly share a significant experience that moved them, helping all of us to deepen our relationship with Unitarian Universalism and to strengthen our ties to the community. This morning we have Lou Patelka. Lou, would you please unmute yourself and share with us?
Thank you, Susan. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I joined the UU in the fall of 2016. Before that, religion had not played a role in my life or that of the rest of my immediate family. I was unfamiliar with the UU, but then a series of chance events changed my life. At that time, I was somewhat lost. My wife had passed away unexpectedly about 15 months earlier. The year that followed her death is a blur in my memory. I was grieving and searching for something, but not sure what it was. By chance, a friend, Mark Kramer, who no longer lives in Cambria, but who I'm sure many of you knew, introduced me to Diane, and Diane introduced me to the UU. At first, I was a little skeptical, but when she explained the 7 principles, I immediately was interested because they represented my own principles and values and those of my family. I later decided that my parents had been UUs without knowing it. At the time, I felt that the UUCC might be what I was searching for, a welcoming community of like-minded people. Meeting Diane and being introduced to the UU was a chance event, an example of serendipity. I attended my first service on October 9th of 2016. And again, by chance, the sermon that day proved to be exactly what I needed to hear. It was entitled Randomness and UU Theology. It was given by a woman from Southern California who had joined the UU after becoming disenchanted with traditional Christianity. I believe she eventually became a UU minister. And as an aside, I have to say that I can't tell you her name. I actually asked her through email for a copy of her sermon, and she sent it to me. And it was only recently when I looked at it that I realized that her name wasn't on it. Anyway, as a scientist, I never had believed in the idea that a superpower guides our lives. and I fully embraced the views that she was presenting about the randomness of life and the role of serendipity. And so by chance, I had found a community, and I quote from the sermon, that shared my values and offered a place that stimulated personal growth. That was my moment of witness.
Thank you, Lou. Sharing together some of our personal and significant joys and concerns brings us closer together as a faith community. We invite you to share the milestones that are deeply felt as part of your personal life, but please be mindful and considerate of all who come to worship with us this morning. This is a time of community building. The collective flames of these candles also embody all the joys and sorrows which may have gone unspoken today, but are deeply felt in this community. Our first reading is from Black Elk Speaks by Black Elk, Oglala Sioux Holy Man. The first piece, which is most important, is that which comes from within the soul of people when they realize their relationship, their oneness with the universe and all its powers, and when they realize that the center of the universe dwells in Wakantanka, the Great Spirit, and that this center is really everywhere. It is within each of us. This is the real peace, and the others are but reflections of this. The second piece is that which is made between two individuals. The third is that which is made between two nations. But above all, you should understand that there can never be peace between nations until there is known that true peace within. May each moment of each day be a sacred journey, each discovery one of worth and value, each word spoken to be cherished. Let us enter the stillness and go within. Please come back now. Our second reading is by Vine Deloria Jr. from God is Red, a Native View of Religion. The lands of the planet call to humankind for redemption, but it is a redemption of sanity, not a supernatural reclamation project at the end of history. The planet itself calls to other living species for relief. Religion cannot be kept within the bounds of sermons and scriptures. It is a force in and of itself and calls for the integration of lands and peoples in harmonious unity. The lands wait for those who can discern their rhythms. The peculiar genius of each continent, each river valley, the rugged mountains, the placid lakes, all call for relief from the constant burden of exploitation. Who will find peace with the lands? The future of humankind lies waiting for those who will come to understand their lives and take up their responsibilities to all living things? Who will listen to the trees, the animals, and birds, the voices of the place of the land? As the long forgotten peoples of the respective continents rise and begin to reclaim their ancient heritage, they will discover that the meaning of the lands, they will discover the meaning of the lands of their ancestors. The anthem today is I Am Light by India Irie and will be sung by Mary Schwalbe.
I would like to thank Shauna for suggesting this song. It's a beautiful song, and it's a prayer for healing in the words of India Irie. She said that, so I think it's very appropriate for the topic today. And I also want you to know that I found a choral version of this online, so I purchased it for the hope that we will get together someday and sing together. My family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am light. Mistakes that I've made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I'm not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. I am light. I am compassion. I am light. I am love. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside, and I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Today's sermon is titled "The Future is Bright," to be delivered by Shauna Bluestar Newcomb. Shauna Bluestar, a woman of indigenous heritage, Shawnee, Lenape, and Azteca, is opening hearts and minds, sharing spiritual messages and profound insights about the changing times as a keynote speaker, visionary, and spiritual guide. Known as a gifted seer and healer, she offers support for people around the world through her healing sessions and facilitating her online courses. She is the creator and facilitator for her groundbreaking programs, the Reverence Code Reset and Sacred Feminine Rising. Shauna is passionate about guiding others to open to their authentic power and purpose so that they can open to their intuition and share their unique gifts. Shauna helps to lead a global movement for conscious change with her father. She shares hidden history behind the domination code, which is the roots of colonization, and offers secrets and healings from her teachings on the Reverence Code based on ancient and indigenous wisdom teachings. She has been featured at universities, festivals, on radio, and as a host for online summits. Shauna is dedicated to a vision of healing for all peoples, the planet, and future generations. You can find out more about Shauna and her work at www.shaunabluestar.com. I now present to you Shauna.
Hello, everybody. I just want to say hi, and then I have a slideshow for you, but I just wanted to say deep gratitude to Susan Landau and the Unitarian Universalist community of Cambria, to Randy and Mary. It's very good to be here with all of you. I will just do some sharing here of my screen, and I look forward to our time together today. Just a moment. And today I'm sharing my vision of healing and considering the personal and planetary future of everyone. And I really do want to reframe that this time offers some really deep healing. So I see that the future is bright. So I want to start by just offering a prayer in my Lenape language, and just acknowledging the original peoples of the land, wherever you may be, the Chumash Nation of the area of where Cambria is now, the Kalapuya Nation of where I am in the Northwest, and just honoring our indigenous ancestors and our free and independent existence from time immemorial. And just wanting to have you take a moment to connect with the earth, feeling a sense of grounding, a sense of peace. I'm just taking a nice deep breath in. letting that out. Kuhana gisheleming wanishi, wema wiltike kuanamilian wanishi, piok indicashok, pecho he kamakana yushienta, wita kamika, milinen welamal sawakan, welatanamawakan, milinen weltek tamakan, ichi kaski ikalichi, pechi petausanen yushienta, wita kamika, nanalakesh. We give thanks for all of the good things you give to us, Creator, Great Spirit. We give thanks for the waters and the sun shining upon us on this earth. We ask that you bring us good health and happiness. We ask that you bring us a good road to walk upon so that we can continue to live a long life on this earth. We bless the waters, the rivers, the lakes, and the oceans. We bless the soils, Mother Earth, for the good food that nourishes our bodies. We bless all of the lands, continents of this beautiful planet, the valleys, the peaks, mountains, Pachamama, Gaia. We bless the animals, the fish, the birds, the winged ones, all beings of this earth. And we bless each other, our dear brothers and sisters, mothers, fathers, and all people of the human family. We remember to honor ourselves and each other as sacred beings. We are connected to the earth and to the cosmos and to all that is. We know that all things are interconnected, and we are grateful to be here. We pray for all of the children and our future generations. We pray for the healing and balance of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, that they be reunited in deep love, honor, and respect. We give deep thanks and blessings to all peoples of this earth. May we find compassion in our hearts, love, and come together in the spirit of great healing for our beloved planet and future generations. We honor all of the sacred elements of life in deep gratitude. Wanishi, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope that just offers some nice centering, and I just want to acknowledge that those sounds and words are about 13,000 years old, and I feel a deep sense of gratitude to be connected to my Lenape language, which I didn't have before as a younger person. So that's very meaningful to me. So I also just want to say it's pretty amazing to see how the world has changed, and obviously we all can recognize how much that has been in the past years. I've had people asking me, what is going on? So many people are saying, you know, is there a way out of this? When are things going to go back to normal? And I really also see people just looking for hope for the future with so much chaos and confusion and fear spinning. It can be hard to see the silver lining at times. And yet I also understand that there's more of an evolution that is also happening simultaneously. And so that can bring a sense of clarity and wisdom with the way forward. So today I just meet you where you are, how that may be feeling for you with so much happening in the world, not only personally, but collectively, certainly with the pandemic and loved ones that we're caring about. Just having a sense of where you are, whether that's in anxiety, there's loneliness. We have other people that are really going through a lot of heart awakening, and that's an incredible time. It can be very interesting to go through those ups and downs as well of things just pulsing through us, I feel like. A lot of people are also saying they're feeling called to make a difference. Some people are feeling joy and purpose and inspiration. So all of it's good wherever it may be. And maybe it's a lot of these different aspects as well. The world has been going through so many heavy events in recent years, and this past year especially. But the good news is we're not alone in this. the beauty of it that I see is, wow, we're literally the entire world is experiencing this moment all together. So that's really profound and powerful. So I see that the lessons of this time are great and many, that we're coming through a time of reckoning. And it's a time to reflect on where we are, where we've been, how things have been working or not working, how we got here, and what's been missing. So there's been a lot of this kind of a collective PTSD with so much chaos and confusion and uncertainty happening, and a lot of grief. And I also see that there's an evolution in a spiritual sense on a really deep, deep scale. So this is part of the silver lining to look for. The work that I do is very much centered on this vision of our future generations, and that's inherent within our Native Indigenous heritage, is really honoring the 7 generations and beyond. It's inherent in all of my work. And as Susan mentioned, I've been doing a lot of speaking and advocacy and working with people in healing sessions, and working with my father with the United Original Nation, these delegates of the Mother Earth Foundation. And I feel very grateful to be with elders and delegates from all around the world who are doing incredible work and very spiritual, deep spiritual paths with that work. And then working with my father, who has been working for 40 years on a global campaign, speaking out on the doctrine of discovery and helping people to understand the roots of colonization and many of the issues that we're seeing currently today. He has a book and a film, The Doctrine of Discovery, Unmasking the Domination Code. He's called upon the Vatican to revoke the papal bulls of the 14th and 15th century. I won't go into much of that today, but it is a very fascinating history. And I see that it really is about the roots of where we are today. He met with Pope Francis in 2016, and that's been an ongoing conversation that we're having with the Vatican about these issues. I really feel like we've been in a time of a wake-up call. And go back here. This time of imbalances and everything that we're seeing on the planet and personally is really examining all aspects of ourselves. But looking at how do we get here and the roots of the problem, as I mentioned, with everything that's been happening with Black Lives Matter and the Me Too movement, so many issues. I feel like the shadow is coming to the light in order to be witnessed and healed. And looking at the roots behind these patterns of domination and dehumanization, the social, political, ecological, and economic crisis is linked to this doctrine of discovery and these domination, dehumanization roots. Really understanding a deeper history that hasn't been told in the past. And it's also about coming to an understanding of what I speak a lot about is the Great Shift or the Great Turning. Some of you may have heard of that. Our Indigenous ancestors and elders have spoken about prophecies for thousands of years, that this time would be here and that we would be experiencing these profound changes. And really, it's a time of helping us to see these imbalances, to bring healing and move forward in a really good way. And I see a big part of that is returning to the spiritual path that has essentially been overlooked or not really focused upon in modern days. And really understanding that the common root that unifies all of us is something that I talk about, the reverence code, and that connection to the earth, that connection to the spiritual aspect of ourselves, to the innate wisdom and gifts within each and every one of you. This is part of the greater healing solution. For thousands of years, the original nations and peoples maintained balance and harmony with the earth. And we followed the sacred instructions to live sustainably, peacefully, to have honor, courage, dignity, humility, and respect, caring for the well-being of the people in our heart. And at the center of it all, really understanding that spiritual connection and the beauty of that that's essentially been missing. It's not as much of a focus to be connected with the earth and connected with the cosmos and all of these aspects in the modern world. That's not the focus. It's usually money and achievements. And so it's much different, almost opposites. And I just also see what's possible for the world right now. It may be hard to see the beauty and the light in times of crisis and darkness. And yet I do see that the future is bright because we are all evolving and we're growing. And these moments of crisis can be looked upon where people are coming together, people are supporting their neighbors, and we're really seeing our global community and standing in solidarity for people across the planet in many, many ways for important causes. So it's also a time of deep personal reflection and courage to look within and make amends. And I feel like the earth is calling to each of us to do our part to remember this sacred living with the land, not extracting from, not exploitation of, but how can we begin to really honor in a deep, deep reverential way this living with the land and all that the earth provides for us in terms of not only who we are part of the stars and we are part of the earth, but also just all that nourishes our bodies and the food that feeds us. It's all very beautiful. So there's all of these native ways of knowing that maintain harmony and balance for millennia, a connection with the land or Mother Earth, the understanding of interconnection of all things and all peoples and all beings, women and nature and high regard, and a deep spiritual foundation underlying it all. Having our intuition be honored and accepted and celebrated, coming together in community with deep connection and sacred regard for all living things, and that deep heart connection and love and reverence for all things. I just feel this is the indigenous way of life that's been there since time immemorial across the planet. It's the original spirituality of all things. And I see that the solution, how we find our way forward, is connected to many of these aspects. I kept asking the question, what do people really want? And I see across the world, so many people, we want the same things. We want to be happy. We want to be healthy. We want creative expression. We want to live a good life. Underneath it all, like we have that inner core being that unites us. And I see the importance of shifting from me to we, acknowledging accountability, personal responsibility. And it's not an easy task with all of the work that we have ahead to do. There's so many good causes and important aspects to consider to bring healing to our planet and to all peoples on a really deep level. I believe that we can do it, and I believe that each and every one of you and people in the world are being called upon to honor the dreams or visions or voice, whatever it is that's shining through you, can bring healing on a deep level. And we can really begin to shift our focus in a good way. The quote earlier by Black Elk is talking about that inner peace within. And I see that as also connected with nature herself. How can we begin to live and make choices to honor the earth as our Mother Earth even more? And that when we do have that peace within, we can make peace with others, and that can extend onto the collective scale as well. And really understanding this concern of ecosystems in a lot of dire conditions right now, and the choices that we make on a daily basis, how can that really begin to shift when more and more people are coming into this deep, deep sacred understanding that what we do really matters and makes a difference? How can we honor each other and have respect for differences, celebrating the multicultural aspects of all over the planet, all the different cultures and languages, and expressions? How can you honor and consider the worth of yourself and others even more? We have the invitation to shift from fear and anger to love. And when we begin to invite even more love for others, it just feels a lot better too. And I feel that the future is bright because the divine is working magic and miracles through each and every one of us. The future is bright because each of you are resilient, and there are gifts and visions and dreams shining through each and every one of you. And each of you has the ability to be a healing instrument at this time. So the beauty of this moment is really an invitation to step into your deeper sense of purpose and self-realization, and really considering what your dream is for the world. Let us celebrate that we're all learning and growing and evolving. It's not a perfect world yet, but we're getting there. What will happen when the world really opens our hearts and minds to love, and the new virus of joy and love takes over? And that's really planting these seeds of peace and joy all over the world is a big vision that I have. And I really see this time invites us to thrive, not by repeating what's been known, but by stepping into a greater connection with the great unknown and the great mystery. We can celebrate the inherent worth and dignity and beauty and gifts of all peoples by what makes each and every one of you truly unique. And it's an invitation to come back to ourselves in a spiritual way and to connect with each other on a much deeper level. And I see that it's so powerful, the power of prayer, the power of vision, the power of meditation, this deep spiritual connection and honoring our voice and our gifts, and having a deeper sense of gratitude for this moment. Like I said, it's kind of hard when there's so much happening and a lot of fear is swirling. But the more that we connect in with nature, with ourselves in this deeper way, it helps us to really have a deeper sense of gratitude for the moment and the shifting that is inviting right now. And there's an inner wisdom that wants to shine through, looking at what message you might be carrying that the world needs to hear. Maybe you're expressing that in writing and poetry and song with people in your community and reaching out. That peace within is your true state of being. And I really see that it's the reverence code within each and every one of you. And we can return to living in peace and harmony with others and ourselves, honoring this beautiful planet, seeing with new awareness, and really looking to create a world that works for everyone with reverence and love and sacred regard for all life in our planet. And really following a sense of passion and purpose, standing for causes that really matter, and making a difference to be the antidote for the imbalances of the past. And we can see the magic, miracles, wonder, and everyday simple ways by living with reverence. And as we continue in that way, we can envision what's really possible for the world, having a sense of compassion, seeking truth and justice and healing and deep transformation. I'm really celebrating that I see a reunion of the sacred feminine and sacred masculine. And I feel that's a really beautiful, beautiful healing in itself. I celebrate community connections coming together. Maybe we can't meet in person, like this picture of me in the past with a group. I miss that, of course we all do, but we're connecting in these good ways and community and global circles, and that's beautiful too. And we really are all in this together. And I just want to say that love is everywhere. The more that we start to see with the eyes of love, it brings joy and celebration and vision into our hearts. So we're coming into a time of sustainability and simplicity, but making choices to bring greater harmony and balance. And the world needs your heart, your prayers, your voice, your hands, your love, your light. And the earth is calling to us loud and clear that this is a time of awakening, to be the change, to really be in service in whatever way that is meaningful and unique to you. So I just really want to honor that for each of you and say thank you so much. I feel that a new dawn is here, and many people are saying we've stepped into the age of Aquarius. We just also celebrated the Lunar New Year, the year of the Ox. There's just so many incredible things happening. I really want to just spotlight that there's brightness in the future, and just sending a lot of healing and blessings to each and every one of you. Thank you so much, Wanishi.
Thank you, Shauna. And I'd like to share that personally, if you would like some support in walking the path that Shauna talks about, I recently took her 8-week Changemakers course that you can get more information about on her website. It's pretty awesome. So, normally at this time, we receive offerings from our congregants. However, due to the virtual format of this service, we invite you to make your offering in one of the methods shown on this slideshow. These methods are posted in the newsletter and also on the UUCC website. Please keep in mind that the congregation is entirely self-governed by the democratic process. One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all of the financial support for our many ministries from among ourselves. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and institutional well-being. You are invited to participate in the blessing of giving by sending us an offering. Thank you.
Hang on a second.
Not hearing anything.
Okay, go, Susan.
We seem to have lost Jan. I'm sure.
Shoot, I'm
was-
sorry. I'll just play a little bit. I'll play the
Okay,
end.
go ahead.
Sorry. I'll do the whole thing.
Our thanks for all gifts given and received for the work of our community. Let us now all sing the doxology.
from all that dwell below the skies. Let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land by every tongue.
You just need a palm. Yeah, that's where the key is.
Please join us in singing the closing hymn, We Are Not Our Own, number 317.
Okay.
We are not our own, earth forms us, human leaves on nature's growing vine, fruit of many generations, seeds of life divine. We are not alone, earth names us, past and present, peoples near and far, family and friends and strangers, show us who we are. Therefore let us make thanksgiving, and with justice willing and aware, give to earth and all living liturgies of care. Let us be a house of welcome, living stone upholding living stone, gladly showing all our neighbors we are not our own.
Let us now recite the valediction. The flame of this chalice will no longer burn today, but the light of the flame within our hearts continues to shine brightly, illuminating the love felt in our community. After the benediction, please click on the gallery view button in the upper right corner of your screen, but please remain muted. Diane will call on you when you raise your Zoom hand. Shauna?
So just to share a few words from a spiritual message that I've received at this time of the great shift, and really seeing this lifting up into higher consciousness. And this message is an excerpt from A New Direction. This is a time of coming together and support and community, and people begin to see the error in their ways. This is a truly powerful time. We see that people find it less and less appealing to be in a world with chaos or violence or fighting, and their hearts really open up in a new way. This is when things begin to shift on a large scale, and people come together to make big changes. There is no tolerance for hate, bigotry, slaughtering, hunting for sport, racism, and all the isms and ignorant choices that come from fear in the world. Suddenly, there is a new ideal for coming together, and not about fighting the separateness. This is a new time of deep acceptance for differences and a realization of oneness on a bigger scale. Bright blessings to you all. Wanishi.